Hey, what is up guys? Guitarok here, welcome back to another Brave 9 video. Alright, so just want to show you guys what kind of formation I used in my Asia server arena rankings. So did manage to get up to Grandmaster 2. Somewhat the time is in my favor this time. I don't have to wake up 5 AM in the morning or something like that as opposed to the world arena, you know. So yeah, arena on your own server is usually better. Also, I get the flexibility to use Levia, which I do not have in the world arena, which she was banned. So let's talk about the formations for a bit. So right now, you can clearly tell I have Floria moving in with Albion. So I did modify the formation a little bit. I'm gonna show you two different formations that I used throughout in like the last 3 hours. I believe I did switch between 2 to 3 different formations, but I did stick with this one and the other one. So I'm gonna show you this one first. Alright, so basically Floria buffing Albion, and then we have Refitia to Asmod. So I was contemplating on shifting Asmod around up and down, but I think I figured the best one would be Asmod in the middle. So whenever Asmod moves, Levia charges up, and then we have Dalby going in first as the first initiator basically. I was contemplating between Ludmilla first or Dalby first, but then I think Dalby first is gonna be safer because lots of players put their Glacier at the back to counter the Ludmilla thing. So this is a much safer option. So let's jump into some battles, show you guys how this formation works, and then you can see it for yourself. Okay, so first opponent we're gonna feature is Gaylord. Alright, so Gaylord, I know he's a pretty good player. He's constantly in around Ruby to Grandmaster, I think. Okay, so Gaylord clearly has Angelica, so we saw it right there. So he has Refitia front. So again, looking at this already, I know that my Asmod can deal with the Lucius, remove the Death Guard, and then we can take one hit off with Dalby to basically eliminate the Refitia. Alright, shouldn't be too hard. Okay. Kablam. Oh, this was still using my first formation. Alright, so this was my other formation. It wasn't the formation that I showed you guys just now. So this one was a bit different, though there's no Asmod in this, but instead there's a Christina. So Christina is positioned at the back. So somewhat this formation is really good against Glacial formation because Christina is at the back. But if you notice right there, if enemy has Yuri, usually it messes it up because once Albion dies, everything just doesn't chain correctly anymore because I start off by going Floria into Albion as well. Okay, so this formation seems to be in my favor. Alright, so and then just left with the enemy's Lucius. So that Lucius is a +7. So I'm guessing Gaylord is aiming to get a +10 or maybe +12 when the Octo rework comes. Okay, so this is the same thing that some of you guys might have watched it during the live stream, but basically I'll try to commentate better on how my formation works. So there is a lot of Vals right here. So Vals doesn't do much on defense. Maybe on offense you can actually initiate and kill one enemy, but on defense, because I do have Grand and Glacier right there in front, so what the Vals do is, okay, the Asmod end up dying. So that is very RNG dependent. Sometimes Asmod can one-shot the Grand easily, no problem, but there's a trick to it. I've already done plenty of videos on it. You just have to make sure that you have a secure irremovable buff. Okay, so Natus is still on top lane, so this formation somehow my formation somehow counters the enemy's one because of the Natus's positioning. So I've seen Natus in mid, Natus at bottom, but Natus at top is where I really want it to be because my Grand is right there, which straight up is a perfect counter. Alright, so Vals is alone. She's pretty exposed from this point onwards. Whenever Grand moves next, Grand is going to be going inside and just give her a slam to the face. Alright, so we have Dalby going in. So at this point, my Ludmilla should be able to take care of that Benshina at the back because she did receive several HP increase from the Floria as well. Okay, so this one has a Yuri. So now, just because opponent has a Yuri doesn't mean it immediately counters my formation. What Yuri does is it's just going to kill off Albion. So once you have the setup of one buff on the Grand, that Floria's buff will make sure that it refreshes every time. So just because the Albion dies, so let's say right now Yuri smacks, Albion dies. So as long as the enemy constantly hits my Grand, because of the Floria's buff, it refreshes. Alright, so Floria has this thing right here. Let me show it to you guys. This particular lasting enhancement is a renewal. So after getting the normal attack. So that is pretty freaking OP if you ask me. So that skill is what makes the What makes Floria extremely strong, and a lot of players have been saying that mostly is because of her HP increase. The HP increase is cool, don't get me wrong, that's very cool, but I don't think that that's the main point of using Floria. Like, as a Floria abuser myself, I would say if I want to use Floria, it's not because of the HP increase, it's because of that lasting enhancement tick, which basically refreshes all the buffs you have. That includes your passive buffs, which is extremely crazy. Alright, if you guys are not aware, so Grand Hilda has this reflective counter, right? It lasts for 100 turns. Ideally, after 100 turns, it should run out, but if you have Floria's buff, it even renews that itself, alright? So that reflective counter debuff that Grand has is constantly getting refreshed, which is insane. So Floria is a pretty broken unit in that sense. Now, she is situational. If you don't have tanks that can benefit from what she gives, then there's no point in recruiting her. If you want offensive buffs, you're better off going with Michaela or Rafitia. But in terms of what Floria gives, is much more of a buff renewal. I'm guessing so far there's not much warriors that can benefit from it yet. Maybe in the future we will see something like that. Either warriors or mages. Yes, mages will not be able to benefit from Floria's HP increase, right? Which is such a bummer. But they can still receive this first skill, I believe, because it's only the second skill, the HP increase, that will not affect the Magician. So maybe in the future there might be some tanky mage that can actually work in the same way that Gran and or even Glacial works, as they have some sort of shield that can protect against sources of damage, and hopefully Floria can help refresh that while the HP increase is not there, but it's still going to be beneficial in a lot of cases because you're going to get constantly refreshing the passive that they have, something that you can definitely benefit from. So far, definitely I would say Gran and Glacial, these two are probably the best tanks to pair with Floria, obviously alongside with Albion. Is there anyone else? Lucius doesn't benefit much from Floria. So if you have Lucius is just a totally different tank that will not get much from Floria's buff, to be honest. So ideally, like I mentioned, not many tanks can really benefit from this. Boom. Okay, so let me show you guys a couple more formations from this point onwards. There's plenty more. This is the one that I recorded somehow before the live stream. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. And if you do, make sure to give it a like and subscribe. Alright, let's go.